Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Queen Squad Conversation. I'm so excited to be. I'm back here in Dallas. I'm so excited, and I have some beautiful queens today. And I just want to thank all of them for showing up today because they didn't have to. And so I'm going to start with this beautiful queen right here. What's your name?
Kashira.
Kashira, hi. So happy that you're here today. And what do you do?
I am an international board certified business and life coach. I primarily work with women-owned businesses on their marketing, branding, and scale strategies.
Oh, thank you so much. So how do you help them? What do you do? Because, walk me through this because this is new for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, a woman will come to me who either already has a business but she's struggling with sales, or she has an idea and needs to turn it into a business. So we'll work through the entire phase of business launching and development. So idea formation, mission, vision, values, building out an offer suite, pricing it, and then leveraging social media to attract new customers and clients.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. We're going to get back into that. And next we have...
Hello, I'm Terrica.
Hi, Terrica.
I'm a game show hostess.
Oh, exciting. Thank you for coming. This is going to be fun.
I'm so happy to be here. Yes, I will host your game event. I am like the Vanna Black, Steve Harvey.
Okay.
I create my own games by hand.
Oh.
I do my own surveys, everything. So it's like a whole setup. You get name tags. You have to put your hand behind your back. Like, it's the whole thing.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. It's a whole lot of fun.
Okay, we're going to have some fun.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to do some parties with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And next we have beautiful queen here.
Hello, my name is Sonnie Garrett. I am a natural hairstylist here in Dallas, Texas, as well as a boutique owner.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
So, so where are you located?
I'm down in Deep Ellum,
Okay.
close to downtown Dallas.
And we can always use a hairstylist. I mean, because Dallas is like a mecca for beautiful women.
Yes,
So you get women from all over the world that come to your shop or your salon?
Not all over the world, but I mean, I have a client. She comes from Alaska, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's I do have people that come from other countries. Not all, we haven't gone worldwide yet. We're on the way.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
She's on the way.
Yeah,
Guess what?
And
we're excited about that because we know that hair is big business right now, isn't it?
It is.
Beauty is
It always
business,
has been
right?
big business.
Yeah, it always
Women
has
have
been.
always wanted to be beautiful.
Yes.
Like it's hair is one of those things. It is a recession-proof business. It does not. People, even when they broke, they want to get their hair done.
That's right. They're gonna find some way to save some money and get their hair done, right?
Yep.
So what do you think about women now going, like shaving all the hair off? What do you think about that?
Oh well, the big chop. And well, it happens. It's a weird space because some women can do it and they're just like, I'm gonna do it, and they're very confident about it. And when they do it, and it's actually it's a freeing experience. When you cut your hair off, it's very freeing. And then you have other women, they are just absolutely terrified. So it's a weird space. I have women, so I don't know. I'll be like, girl, call me when you're ready. I don't have time.
Yes.
I'm not gonna convince you. Yeah. But I love it. I mean, be free. I'm all about freedom.
Yes.
And hair is very much expression. And so however you want to be seen in the world, just do that. This is how I see it. Like, cut your hair off, dye it blonde, blue, purple, red, whatever is going to make you feel good about you, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Queen D, she might have black hair tomorrow, and then the next day I'm blonde. Because I just love hair because of the versatility of. I love different hairstyles. Hair is a woman's halo to me, and like you said, I think I would be kind of nervous without my hair. I think maybe when I get a little older, I might get really enough courage to do that. Because I really do admire women who do it because I think it's like a strong statement, a bold statement, when you cut your hair, because you really are giving a message to the world about who you are.
It's a form of rebellion.
Yes.
So for men, a form of rebellion is to grow their hair out and grow it long. That's a form of rebellion against social norms, right? And so for women, it has always been since the beginning of time when a woman cuts her hair off. It is actually her rebellion towards man, actually, because then she's got an attitude now.
Yeah.
You just can't walk up on her no more.
Mm-hmm.
You're right about that, because a lot of women
Yeah.
cut their hair like when they get a divorce or separated.
Yes.
They change
It's like a
wigs.
life-changing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always ask, what have you gone through before we do this? What's going on with your personal life?
Yeah.
You know, and let's talk about it. And I'd be like, well, I just had a breakup. Let's wait. Give it 30 days. And then we'll circle back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I had that urge too many years ago when I got a divorce. I was like, I feel like cutting my hair, but then I was afraid if I cut it, then I'll be wanting it back. I was like, I want it back, and I'm
happens
back
a
on
lot.
my head now.
I did it last year, child. I got a pixie cut. I just wanted it and have been wanting it. 3 months in, I was over it. And I've been regretting it ever since. So, but I'm growing my hair back out. It's coming along.
So speaking about that, what about alopecia? Because a lot of women suffer from alopecia. How do you treat that?
You have to go see a dermatologist. Like
Okay.
I don't care what the stylist told you. I don't care what the trichologist told you. I'll just give y'all a little background. A trichologist is a 2-week certification. There's no way you're going to learn in 2 weeks what you're supposed to do with somebody's scalp to grow their hair back. You can learn that at 4 years of medical school and then another 2 or 3 years of residency. And you can learn that there. You know what I'm saying? So you make sure you go see a dermatologist. That's the only way that they can go. They can do a biopsy.
Okay.
And they can, because there's 23 different types of alopecia, and they all are treated differently.
Wow. See, we didn't know that. We thought it was just like one type.
Yeah. So you need to know. You need to go and actually see a doctor and let them say, you have this. This is what we can do about this. And then go along that program. I suggest for women of color, you go see a doctor of color, just because Black women, or even they understand how our hair works. We're not gonna wash our hair every day, so you can't give me some foam I'm gonna put on my scalp every day, because like it's just not gonna work for my lifestyle. So they can prescribe things that work for whatever you're going through in your life at that time. That's gonna work, because you still have to be seen in the world. So
yes. Now speaking of alopecia, let's talk about that. Jada Pinkett. Okay. Do you believe she has alopecia?
No.
Guess what, girl? I don't think she has alopecia either.
My hairstylist friend that's done her hair said she didn't have no alopecia. So
I was like,
the hairstylist that's done her hair
alopecia to
said
me.
she didn't have no alopecia. So I believe the hairstylist.
I agree, because I'm thinking, isn't alopecia like a man who goes bald, like smooth and shiny?
It is.
It doesn't have all these lines and designs all in the head and stuff.
Generally, it does at a certain point. It does go smooth and shiny.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I don't think she has alopecia.
I don't. I believe that she was bleaching the mess out of that hair. Because a lot of people say this. I believe remember that stint where she was blonde?
I remember.
What I do believe is she was bleaching the mess out of that hair, and her hair broke off. And and I believe she probably did a big chop to get her hair back, and then she looked at herself in the mirror, because she's stunning. Okay,
Yeah, she's a beautiful woman.
Stunning.
I mean, she's a good looking family.
Yeah, she's
Mom is
stunning.
gorgeous. Her daughter's
With
gorgeous.
her that bald head. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous. I believe she looked in that mirror and liked what she saw, and that's
she's
it.
like, because I heard she did it on Instagram. I didn't see it for myself, but I heard her that she had shaved her head bald on Instagram. Says, and I love my bald head. So if you love your bald head, and you're bragging about it. Because if you had alopecia, you would be going, I love my bald head. Yeah, look at me. Because normally that's like a feeling of depression when you have a medical condition, right?
No, alopecia is not that deep. It's
It's
not so deep. It's not that deep. Like people, it's so common. It's like getting a rash. Like it's that common.
Okay.
Like a lot of people have alopecia and they live with it every day.
Okay.
It's not debilitating, and especially as Black women. I mean, my mother has alopecia. Guess what she do? She slaps her wig on and it holds her head up high, and she walks out that door.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
I have another aunt, lost her hair. She just shaved it bald, and she's beautiful. She goes to get the little henna crown on her head.
Okay.
I mean, she's drop dead gorgeous, and she walks out in the world with all the confidence in the world. It's not that deep.
Okay,
It's
they're making it real deep now,
Yeah, it's not that deep.
Okay, so Terrica, I want to ask you, so what do you think about that slap? Okay,
He slapped him, man. He did do that.
I mean, like Will Smith's slap Chris Brown because his wife is bald with alopecia.
Well, I think the slap was wrong. I think he was absolutely wrong for slapping, because he didn't put his hands on anybody. Mm-hmm. You just can't go hitting people and they didn't actually put their hands on you. Right. Now, if you feel some type of way about what he said, I felt like you should have cued the producers. Hey, I need to talk to Chris a minute. I think it was just another way to do that. But as two black men at the Oscars in a point of where you are in your career, it wasn't a good move. It just wasn't a good move. I mean, but have y'all ever read his book?
No, I mean, I saw the documentary that he was going to do a book.
Yes.
But
I haven't read the book through and through, but I have read some bits and pieces. And I do know he talks about the feeling of not being able to protect his mother and not protect himself from his abusive father. So maybe that came into play. I'm still not warranted what he did was right, but I guess I'm looking at his mindset of wanting to protect. But that's not the way you should have protected her, you know. Yeah, the slap, he shouldn't have did the slap. The slap was it was no good.
Okay, so I'm going to ask all three of you a question, and I want to, so do you feel that Chris Brown should have spoke up, or what do you think he should have did? What about you? What do you think? Chris Brown.
Chris Rock.
Chris Brown. Chris Rock. Excuse me, Chris. I apologize. Disclaimer.
I think Chris Rock actually handled it the best way he could because he kept going. He didn't stop. He didn't flip
He
out.
was a champ about it, wasn't he?
He didn't hit him back. He did what he was up there to do, which was introduce the award. You know, and it is ultimately working out for him now because his tour is selling out and, you know, he's getting all these opportunities. But I think that he handled it well. Like, I don't know what else he was supposed to do, like, brawl with them up there, because then it would have been...
that would have been a mess.
That would have been
real ugly.
So, yeah, I mean, and, you know, I don't know, I feel like he did what he needed to do.
Yeah. So, Sonnie, you think they should have, like, banned him for 10 years from the Oscars?
No, I don't think any of all of that is necessary. I mean, we've seen worse on TV. Like, it's not like he's done something that we just ain't never seen anybody do on TV. I don't think it wasn't professional in the environment that he was in, but he can apologize, and it's not like this is his first infraction. They didn't ban Kanye from the Grammys.
No, they didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when he got up there, when that girl she was 15 years old. Like, he married public regulations. You know what I'm saying? So, I look at it like it's not that deep. Like, it's not. I don't think it's that deep. I think he can apologize and he can bounce back from it. I feel like, girl, Chris Rock was an easy target, child. He wouldn't have slapped Samuel. Okay?
That's right. There's some people not to step up on.
Yeah, he wouldn't have went up there and slapped Samuel or Denzel.
No.
Right.
He knew what he was doing.
But didn't they have words before?
I heard that they had some type of altercation.
They've had some words before, so...
Yeah, but Chris Rock is the type that he pushes buttons, though.
He does.
Chris Rock has been pushing buttons his whole career.
That's true.
So
he can get pretty uncomfortable. I've seen him,
his type of comedy is a different type of comedy.
Yeah, it is.
So that's why for some people it's like divided because they may literally feel that Will was wrong, but not like Chris Rock enough to say he deserved it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because in other environments, let's keep it real. In other environments, we know how that would have been handled, right? Like, we've seen this. If you've come from some certain urban environments, you know how it is. If you speak to somebody's woman a certain way,
right?
It's a wrap. So,
but you're at a show. It's a show.
Yeah.
And he's a comedian. What comedy show can you go to and sit on the front row and the comedian's not gonna come for you?
That's true.
But the thing is, it wasn't his act. This is at the Oscars. This is what the Chris Rock show.
That was his time.
And they knew why Will was
and
in the front.
Will laughed. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah.
He will.
Yeah.
And it wasn't it was a belly laugh.
Yeah.
He laughed. He looked at Jada. She was looking away, and then he was like,
"You are right."
Oh,
but it still wasn't Chris Rock's show. Because he went off script.
But that's how you know it was a trauma response. Because
I was
her
gonna
facial
ask that.
expression triggered something for him, and I think he kind of like blacked out almost, and just what that 8-year-old version of him would have done. I think that he kind of switched scenarios in his head.
Do you think it has anything to do with her entanglements?
Oh yes,
I'm sure that contributed to it. This is the thing about trauma that people don't understand. Most trauma that's infused in you happens at an early age, between like infancy through the age of like 7 or 8. So for him to have had the childhood that he had, then you add on the entanglement, you add on the public ridicule that they've had for years. And this is not justification. This is like what's happening in his psyche where he could go from laughing to slapping somebody that fast. like that's how triggers work. Like it kind of like the bigger the trigger and the more that it builds up, the more likely you are to explode.
So do you think art imitates life? Do you think he was kind of acting like the character that he was playing for the Williams sisters' father? Because he actually came up on stage and said art imitates life.
I think
And
that just shows how
like
like
he
a public
embraced
speaker
that
is.
spirit.
He was looking for a way to kind of tie this all together. To me. I don't think he was method acting it with that. I think he was just looking for a way to kind of connect things so he can eloquently say what he needed to say when he got his award.
So do you think the apology was worthy? I mean, because he apologized to everybody but Chris. So what do you think about that? Anybody?
That's the kind of tough because he apologized to Chris after, not immediately. I mean, you wasn't sorry at the moment. Sometimes you do have to. I mean, sometimes you do have to sit back and look or think about what you've done and actually see it and then go back and apologize. Mm-hmm. It's just different. It's all situational. It's all situational. Like I don't know what was going on in his mind or even after the fact for it to warrant the late apology or not. I mean, you could have talked to somebody else. You could have talked to your mama. You know, as long as you don't go get your mama, you need to apologize, baby. You get up there and get it wrong on national TV. So you don't go apologize. I mean, so it's just kind of situational, but I'm glad he apologized. But I can't say I'm glad. I don't know. It's just, it's a lot.
I say you can't be up there. You can't go slap nobody like a gangster and then come back with these tears.
I'm going to say something about the tears. Those are like crocodile tears.
If you going to get up there and slap somebody, you need to stand on it. I slapped him today. What's up? You can't come up here and then now you ball and tear. You can't have it both ways. You got to, if you going to do it.
You did it.
I did that. And I'm going to stand on it. This is, I didn't like it. Yeah, and that's it. You can't be like, oh, the devil's now. You know, he told me the devil was coming for me. No, that wasn't the devil. That was you. That was you. God
don't blame everything on the devil.
I know, right?
That was you. That was not the devil.
You know, I agree with you because I thought about it. I said, first you were talking about you didn't want to look like a coward because people have always said that you know, like you're a coward. Mm-hmm. And then you come up there with these big crocodile tears. I felt like you looked weak. You know, stand up for what you believe in, whether it's right or wrong. If you felt that you should have defended your wife, and like you said, just stand up for it and own it. Own it, you know?
But here's the caveat to that. She was offended because he said she had a bald head, and technically she does have a bald head, and he made a reference to a movie, right?
Yeah.
But when Regina King got up there and said something about sleeping with her husband, that was okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just confused. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just confused.
Yeah, I started wondering if he needs some medication.
Yeah.
You know? And we'll be right back. If you're just joining in, we had such a great conversation. We were just talking about things with the Oscar and what happened with that slap with Will Smith. But right now we're going to kind of segue because now I'm going to talk about an influencer. His name is Kevin Samuels. Okay, ladies? And the reason why I want to talk about Kevin because we were just now talking about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. And Kevin Samuels' take on Jada was like, I watched it on Instagram and I watched it on YouTube and he really hit hard on her saying that she's a narcissist. So, Kashira, do you think she's a narcissist?
I don't know her like that to make that kind of assumption. Like, I don't know. My take with a lot of pop culture is I just don't know these people. I'm not behind the scenes. I can't. That's a real diagnosis, narcissism.
Yes, it is a real diagnosis.
There's no cure for it. You know, people who are narcissists who actually care about it and have to continuously get support for it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, from the outside looking in, it definitely looks like there's some toxicness on both sides in that situation because he has his dirt too. You know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, but being with the narcissist is a very difficult situation to be in because if they lean into it, there can be some manipulation there.
Oh yeah.
Lots of gaslighting there, and it can change if you are someone who kind of falls for that because you're in this place of like trying to always please them. Mm-hmm. They can never be pleased. Like it can change you as a person.
Yeah. What do you think, Terrica?
I have to agree with Kashira. I don't know the people. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, behind scenes, and what they do. But I will agree. It's something. She's the common denominator in some things, but I'm not going to take away from what he probably does.
Yeah.
You know, so, but there's definitely some therapeutic thing. I think they need to take the red table away. Just snatch the red table and keep y'all business in your house.
Keep your house in-house, right?
Yes.
Don't air it to dirty laundry, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For us to even have these obscure opinions about you and about what you're doing and what you have going on, you know what I mean? If you want to have the entertainment, have entertainment. If you want to keep like, it's, you know, it's just things. All of them have a lot going on.
They do.
All of them, but I can't put that jacket on Jada's back because I don't know her.
So, Sonnie, have you heard of Kevin Samuels?
I love Kevin Samuels.
Okay, give me your opinion of him.
Let me run back to this. I want people to stop throwing that word around. They throw it around like it's candy. Everybody's a narcissist. Everybody is not a narcissist.
True.
I just want to say that. Preface with that. Everybody is not a narcissist, and everybody has a certain degree of narcissism within them. Some people are more extreme than others. What was the question again?
Yes, I was going to say, what do you think about Kevin Samuels talking about Jada Pinkett being a narcissist? Because he really hit hard on her because, you know, he's really hard on modern women as yourselves, you know, beautiful queens who are doing their thing. He hits really hard, and one of his statements he said, if you're not married by 35, you have the chances of probably ending up with a cat. I mean, he says all this stuff. You heard him say
I love Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
I love him. 95% of everything Kevin Samuels says is fact, right? It's built in truth. It's that 5% where he go off on a tangent and then I'll just be like, okay, I was with you. I was there. And he go off on this tangent. I'll be like, now you done took it too far now. And I think a lot of people judge Kevin Samuels based on they see these Instagram sound bites and they're actually meant to grab your attention and to pull. Yeah, it's clickbait. And so people, but they never actually go to his YouTube channel and actually listen to him because he be on them men just as hard.
I know.
He wears them down too. Like you need to have your stuff together. He tells them, and I feel like it's when he go off on that 5% that people they stop listening and they miss the jewel.
Yes,
because there's always a jewel in every YouTube he does. There's a jewel in there that you need to get. Yes. But the problem is that you hear that, and most people once they hear something they don't like, they stop listening, and they stop, and that's the thing they'll gravitate to and grab onto, and then they're done. They're done. I can't stand him, but you didn't really actually listen to what he actually had to say because he's got some jewels in there. Yes. I think we're in this world. We're independent women, and I like a lot of period pieces. Like watching Bridgerton and all that other stuff. I love those period pieces. Yes. And I look at how those women, they didn't have the rights and the things that we could do, but they also had the privilege of security, which we don't. And so I feel like we got our independence, but at what cost? We lost some things to get here. We lost some things to get here, and I think that's really what Kevin Samuels is really tapping into. Like, yeah, y'all got this, and that, but you missing this piece. And I feel like there should be a space where we don't have to go back. I don't want to go back. I like doing what I wants to do when I wants to do. I like having my own bank account. I don't want to have to get a man to have my own money. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there's a space where we as women can come back. And then also the men need to come forward a little bit. It's not just us, right? But and I think that's really what he's talking about when he's talking. But I think people really miss that when they listen to him because he's so left field. Yeah. But that's what draws you in. Yeah. And then also I think that because men of a certain stature don't even tap into Kevin Samuels because they're not even engaged. They be like, oh, I don't even have an Instagram. Like they be on that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they never have men on there of a certain stature to hear their opinions and what they're talking about. A lot of times the men that tap in, they broke. And so then that further leads into I ain't listening to Kevin Samuels.
I agree. I think that Kevin Samuels, the generation that he's in, he's from a traditional background. Mm-hmm. He did work in the church. He did work as a youth counselor. So he's watching what has happened with the growth of black women and men. and what he has seen is that the women are outdoing the men, but at the same time, it's kind of like PhD women ending up with GED men, okay? And we're talking spiritually and emotionally, and in the growth part. My concern is, do you think that the men, especially the black men, are they becoming too feminized? What do you think, Terrica?
Ooh, that's a good question. I do think they kind of are. Some men, not all. Some men are just with the fashion, with their mentality. Some men wanting to be taken care of.
That don't sit well with me.
Exactly. But some men.
After I raised my sons, okay, I don't need to be taken care of.
This is true, but some men don't mind. I'm not gonna say they want to be, but they'll sit back and allow a woman to take care of them, or to so certain things. So yes, I do feel like at a certain point roles are being switched in reverse, and some people are accepting of that. Some, not all. Some people are accepting that, but you have another percentage that is not. So it's like the, that tug of war type of thing between men and women.
Yeah. What do you think, Kashara? Do you think that the men are becoming too feminized?
I don't know how to answer this question. I feel like I'm an optimist, sometimes a little delusional, but I feel like there's something for everyone. There's someone for everyone, and there's just so many people, like billions of people in this world. Like, there's enough to go around. However, I've witnessed what Terrica is talking about, though. Like, I've encountered individuals who, like, for example, in the dating scene here, one thing, and you guys can tell me if this is true or not, is that a lot of men here want to be approached. Like, they want you to do the approaching.
That's Dallas.
And I'm like, I'm not extroverted enough for that. So my soulmate's probably gonna be the Uber Eats driver, because I'm not walking up to nobody in no bar. Maybe the Amazon Prime guy, or someone that breaks in. I don't know, like one of the three, right? Yeah. So I don't know, like stuff like that is like, okay, well, I wonder, like, is that a trend? Like, where is that coming from? And so I think culturally and geographically, it like kind of wavers, but I don't know, like, I just feel like I work so hard in my life and in my business. I don't want to be the head of the household. Like, I don't want to have to also come home and coach this and manage this. Like,
enough is enough.
am not here for that. So I know when I'm manifesting and when I'm not,
Yes.
trying to bring
Sonnie, you believe in traditional marriage?
I do believe in traditional marriage. I very much want that. My grandmother used to always tell me, like, she would say, don't go after that doctor, that lawyer, that this and that. She was like, you need to come on down and get you just a regular old man. And in my experience, I've dated men with lots of money, and I've dated some men that don't have lots of money. And I find that these men that are, they're gotten themselves together, they don't want to settle down. And they have this idea of this fictitious woman that doesn't exist, that she's perfect, and she's not gonna, because she gotta have long hair, she's gotta be beautiful, she gotta have a big booty, she gotta have some breasts, and some hips, and also be smart. She's got to be smart, intelligent. She got to have some money. She got to but then after she gets all of that, she can't have no attitude.
Yeah.
She better be submissive as well, and she better be a porn star.
Okay.
Where is she? Where is this woman? Because I ain't met her yet. I'm a hairstylist. I meet women every day, and most of the women that I meet that are married, when I tell you they the most degular women that you've ever seen, they just regular.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Where is this fictitious woman that you're trying to? Where is she? Because she doesn't exist.
Okay, so that's my next question. K. Michelle, has anyone seen her Instagram or any of her YouTubes about plastic surgery with black women? No?
I've seen it, a little bit of it.
Where is that coming from? Why black women? Hold that thought. Sorry, I want to make sure I get my thought out, because this has been a concern of mine. Black women now, for the first time in history, are going for so much plastic surgery when people like Kim Kardashian was trying to look like us. Now, some kind of strange way, it's backfired, and the black women feel like trying to look like her. And I'm like, wait a minute. They were trying to look like us. We already had all that. So why are we going down for the plastic surgery now? What's going on with our women?
I had plastic surgery, so I'm going to just tell you. And it's the best thing I ever did for myself. I feel confident. I feel great about myself. Now, I feel that a lot of these women, I will tell you, those women you see with them big old booties that
Yeah,
don't
that's what I'm
match
talking
legs,
about.
they actually went back and got a second surgery. That's 2 surgeries. That's not 1 surgery.
That's scary.
The first surgery, she probably looked like
proportion.
she was proportioned and
Yeah.
she looked how she was supposed to look, but she was like, nah, I want more. And she went back and laid back on the table and got more, and now it's just too much. Yeah, that's 2 surgeries. That's not 1 surgery. It's 2.
Goodness.
So, what I will say, it is an investment. Men buy me more drinks than they've ever bought me. I'm just gonna be honest. Like it's an investment, especially like for these young girls. How you think they getting these rappers and all this other stuff? They've invested in what they look like in order to acquire the security that they want. It's just like a bird with bright feathers. That's really what it boils down to. Now, yes, we've always had that, but I don't have a problem with it. I say do whatever makes you feel great about you, but you don't need to go to Mexico to do it.
Yeah.
You don't.
That's my concern.
You don't need to go in somebody's basement,
Quack doctors.
somebody's hotel room.
Yeah, that's
they don't.
scary.
And if your regular doctor tells you go to the right surgeon, they tell you no.
Yeah.
You need to go get somewhere and sit down.
Right.
That's my caveat to that. Don't go. The reason why she has that show botch is for people that are going. They go in a hotel room paying $500, and then you wonder why you got a big dent on the side of your body.
Yeah.
You didn't do it the right.
Yeah.
You should have got a real surgeon.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you because, but I do have a concern about the younger girls because they say comparison is the thief of joy. So what happens is if you're comparing yourself to the next person, you're never going to be satisfied. And the young girls today don't have the confidence of women yesterday who just will say, okay, I look good just the way I am. And if you, because I'm going to tell you something, you can be the most beautiful, as you know, the most beautiful woman on earth. And just like Beyonce, if he gonna step out, he gonna step out. And it don't matter how pretty you are. So it's you gotta come with other things that he's gonna want to stay. And it's not gonna be just your looks. So that's why a lot of girls, I think, mentally and emotionally are messed up now because they are comparing themselves to other people, other women, and sometimes I think they're comparing themselves to women instead of worrying about what the men want. It's almost as if I want to be on Instagram just so the women can see me. And I always say, well, what you worry about her for? You better worry about what he's thinking. Because not unless you just want to be with another woman. Because I don't need to compare myself to another woman to get a man. Right. I need to see what he wants. Right? Because it's what he wants. Right? Not, she's going to see that I'm pretty, so let me do this. I'm not interested in you. I'm looking at the men. Okay? So women need to start thinking about what does he want? And is it what you want? And you're okay with that. Because, see, at the end of the day, you have to be satisfied with who you are. And it has to come from an inner confidence.
So true.
That's why when I talk about queens, I talk about high-valued women who have confidence in who they are. And if a man sees confidence in you, I don't care if you looking like SquarePants. If he sees confidence in you and who you are and your abilities, he's going to stay with you. That's why you'll see some men with some women that you may not think is the greatest, but he sees something in her that we don't know about.
That's so true.
And we'll be right back.
Hi, and we're back. And we've just been really unpacking a lot of things that's going on in today's world with the women right now. And I wanted to touch a little bit what we were discussing before we got back on the air with young women today. First, be your own kind of beautiful. That's what it's all about. Understanding that comparison is the thief of joy. And understanding that the way you are made, how God made you. Even if you want to get plastic surgery, please, like Sonnie said, make sure you get medical advice. Maybe go to 3 doctors and make sure this is what you need to do. But in your 20s, that's a time where you're still growing. Isn't that what you said, Sonnie?
Yeah, your body is still, you don't even get your real body till you in your 30s. So if you go and get this big old booty and then that 30 sit in, what is that going to look like?
Yeah.
Yes, and then it's not as easy to go back in and take all that stuff back out. That's what K. Michelle is going through is she put all that in and then look at it's taken years and I don't even think she's still where she wants to be, you know what I'm saying? With her body, because it's taken years for her to get through all of that and infections and all that stuff. So once you do it, it's not as easy to come back from it.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And I want to kind of segue now. I'm going to ask you something, Kashari. Now you're a life coach and you do business, right? Now explain how a young girl, say for example, a young girl in her 20s, you know, she's really interested in building her brand and she needs help. What would you do? What advice would you give her?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in my 20s, I figured this out through mentorship, honestly. Like,
Okay.
you know, I'm all about books and research, but sometimes there's nothing like just seeing somebody do it, you know? And I think that's the benefit of coming up in this day and age, because when I was coming up, you know, finding a Sonnie would be difficult, right? Like finding a Terrica wouldn't be like as easy as it is now. You can go on Instagram and find folks, and even if you don't get to meet them, you can study them, you can observe, you can kind of take note, and you can take in all these different influences to see, well, what is it about what she does that I enjoy? Where are my natural gifts and talents, and how can I X, Y, and Z? So it does really boil down to a lot of self-exploration, and then looking for those mentors, looking for those sponsors, or even just, if you, worst case, going and doing the research on this idea, like we were talking about you and getting your hair license and wanting to do hair, and it's like, okay, well, that's our starting point. Let's go find some books. Let's go find some YouTube videos. I mean, again, YouTube was not a thing when I was coming up. It was coming around, but you know, like now you have YouTube and podcasts, and you have all of these conferences, all these workshops, all these events. Like, there's just so much more opportunity here when it comes to figuring out what you want to do and then going forward with it and taking action on it.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, I'm going to throw out some names to all three of you ladies, and you tell me what you think. Michelle Obama, what do you think?
Well, she went to my high school. She went to my alma mater, so I'm very proud of Michelle
That's
Obama.
Awesome. Yes.
I'm a Chicago native, but yeah, Michelle Obama is, to me, I love her book, but like her leadership, and even we were talking off camera, not even, we were on camera about like the whole Kevin Samuels situation. I mean, even with her role and her deciding to leave her law firm, and you know, the role that she played in, you know, his presidency, his election, like, I think that shows the sign of like, you know, what's required when you attract the type of person that you are and that you want, and like how there is some give and take with that. So it's not only her leadership, but like her ability to balance like all of her roles that impresses me.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. And so, Terrica, what do you think about Kamala Harris?
Ooh, you know, Miss Chucks and Pearls, I wasn't a big fan. Beautiful woman, but she's all right. She doesn't do anything for me. But I am happy to see a black vice president. Never thought I would see that. So for her accomplishments, yes. Oh, bravo. You know, for everything that you did, what sacrifice you had to make with family, just being a woman to get to where you are. Like, kudos, bravo to you. But she doesn't move me. She's just not my thing.
Okay, Sonnie. So what do you think about Oprah?
I love Oprah. Oprah's a boss. Like, let's be very clear. She is a boss. And I love her. I love how she's very, when you watch her outside of like just being on the show, she seems very down to earth. She likes to garden and you know, she got more money than her man. We're talking about that, right? She got more money than her man. But one thing about her, like Gail was saying, she cooks for him. She caters to him. She does all this stuff for him, and she's figured out a way to be that boss, but still be a woman. Still be a woman and be supportive. And she comes off, I don't know her personally, but she just comes off like she's a good friend, a good mentor, a good, like, she loves people. She's an Aquarius too. Aquarius people, they love people. Yes. So, you know, she just comes out, she's just a people person. Yeah. And I like how she's always open for other, especially black women, to bring them up. She's always open, like, and you know, just anybody. Like, if you're doing something that's positive and she finds out about it, she's very much like, go get her. And, you know, let's see what we can do to help, you know, build her up. And I love that, because we need more of that. Because, you know, in our community, it's so, we're such crabs in a barrel. Sometimes that we need more people that are up there to bring the other people up, so we can all be there.
Absolutely. Ayana, what do you think about Ayana? Anybody? Ayana Van, you know, Oprah's spiritual advisor.
Fix my
life. What do you think about her?
I think she's dope.
Yeah.
I love her energy.
She's gangster.
Like
her books are great. I've read her books. I don't watch the show as much, but her books are fantastic.
I just love her energy.
And in the meantime, baby, to get your life together.
Yeah, get your life. I love her. I love Ayana. Get you together quick.
Yes.
She don't mind
Yeah.
You. That's I love her.
I love that. I love that, right? So, we had 2 years. Let's talk about it. It's like the elephant in the room. What did you do in lockdown? Kashara, what did you do in lockdown?
Work.
What was that first year like for you? What did you think?
Picked up, my business tripled in revenue when the pandemic hit that year. So that, which is amazing and such a blessing. However, that was the worst year of personal burnout and anxiety and stress for me, because I didn't know my own limits at that point in time. Like, my business was doing great, I was full time in it, but I didn't realize, like, what does that really mean for you to have triple the workload, triple the clients, and not triple the help? So
question.
for me, I remember like speaking with therapists about this because I didn't understand where all this anxiety was coming from. I hadn't experienced that before, and I'm like, my life is great. Like, what are we talking about here? But she helped me to really dissect and understand it. Like, no, actually, your life has changed drastically. Like, you used to be on a flight every weekend. I used to host a lot of events for different companies, and always like kind of out on the road, and I also had way more control over the client load that I had, and like, that shifted drastically. So for me, the pandemic kind of triggered this season of self-discovery. It was also 2020 is when I turned 30, so it was like a whole lot happening. So that's when I'm like trying to figure out, well, what do I want my business to look like? What do I want my life to look like? What do I actually like? What do I enjoy? What do I want? Which kind of prompted my move to the DFW at some point. It took me a little while to get here, but that prompted my move. So yeah, I stayed pretty busy during the pandemic.
What about you, Terrica? Thank you.
I'm a phlebotomist, so I was busy. Draw blood, and I was processing the COVIDs, but I lost weight during the pandemic. I lost over 60 pounds.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, because when we were in the pandemic, I was finding recipes. I was getting home a little earlier than usual. We finding recipes. I'm baking brownies, cookies, you name it. Me and Jalen, my son, and I, we were in there. We were doing it. And I went up the same flight of stairs that I go up every day, and I swear they added 20 more. I just knew it. Went to work and got on the scale, and I had exceeded my pregnancy weight. Mind you, my son is 17.
Oh, wow.
So the emotion that came with that, because it really, I looked at it and I literally cried. I was like, I cannot be this big,
Yeah.
And so I just started doing something about it. I started walking every day. I started changing the recipes and doing other things, and I lost 60 pounds.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
What about you, Sonnie? Lockdown for you, 2020?
Ooh, it was rough for me. I'm a worker. That's who I am. I find a lot of my self-worth within my career, and so it was really rough because that's the first time that there was nothing that I could do to work. Like there was nothing that I could do. Like I was like, what you mean I can't go to work? Like, and I'm not a kitchen stylist, and you not come to my house to do nothing. So, and that was very hard for me because that was 2 months of just sitting at home. Luckily, I guess it was just discernment. Normally, I travel a lot at the beginning of the year because that's the best time to go to like Southeast Asia and countries like that. And so that particular year, I was really just grinding real hard. I was traveling a lot for work and teaching classes and doing things, and so I was just stacking my money. And so when I was off that 2 months, because I don't work for nobody, I had that money to sit on while I was at home and be able to still pay all my bills and stuff like that. But of course, like the day they said we could go back to work, when I tell you I was out buying, I think I had started making masks because I was bored. I was making masks on a sewing machine at home and selling those just to get a little extra change, just to have something to do besides watch TV. And I was out buying fabric and my phone was blowing up. I was like, what is going on? They was like, we can go back to the salon. Can I come get my hair done? I'm like, well, wait a minute. Let me go figure out the rules and regulations and what this looks like. There are rules. And so I had to, and then after that, I just picked up and we just went on from there because, I worked for myself for almost 15 years. So that, that part of my business. And then also, I will say I had dropped right before that happened, 10 days to be exact, before we shut down.
Yeah.
I was dating this guy. He's loved my life to this day. We're still very good friends, but we broke up because his job transferred him to Atlanta, and it was just neither one of us wanted to do long distance, so we separated. And I dropped him off 10 days before the shutdown, and so it was very hard for me because normally, you know, you can distract yourself by going out with friends and or just work. I can dive into my work because that's really why I was working so hard in the beginning, because we found out he was going to move, but it was still going to be a process before you get there. So I just started grinding, and you know, because it's a distraction, I don't have to think about that while I'm grinding. And so once everything shut down, I had to sit in that. I had to sit in that space, and so it was I do believe in therapy. I love my therapist. So I had to sit in that and really process that, and it was very hard. That was the first time I think that I ever had to just sit in my feelings.
Yes.
And I had to sit in my feelings of I can't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and it's just all those things. And so I feel like I've come out a better woman because of that, and a much stronger woman, because I mean that was rough. I don't even think I don't even think a man can disturb my feelings like that no more. I think I just, to be honest with you, I think I'm just so good with me that you can't even.
Good for you.
You good? You got it, boo. You know, and just working, just you know, grinding.
Yeah, thank you. You know, because I thought about that too, and wow, if you have children at home and you got a family, it's very different in the pandemic. So you get a chance to self-reflect. You're also trying to think about how to take care of everything around the home and them, and also see how they're feeling, because this was a very scary time for children. You know, my background as a teacher, as a special needs teacher, so I didn't work, and for the first time I was thinking about going forward, because a lot of people actually change careers once they had time to sit down and self-reflect and decided, well, I think it's time for me to leave this profession and find something else, type of thing, you know. And so that's what I did. You know, I literally actually found the person that I worked with for WRJR because of the pandemic, because I started talking to people on Instagram and Facebook and everything, and he was in radio, and we started talking, and the next thing you know, that's how we created the morning show, because he was already doing music anyway, and he said, well, why don't we just have a morning show? And, you know, and I like to do inspiration and stuff. And so that's what I did. But I can remember that time I said, you know, this is a time for self-reflection. Everybody needs to sit down and think about. And I always say, if you're here now, it's because God got a purpose for you, because you was meant to be here. Because that was crazy.
It was. Yeah.
So my next question is the vaccine. So, you know, everybody was talking about, should they get vaccinated, should they not? And so many issues came up for people as African Americans. Is there something in it that they're trying to do to sterilize the men and the women and all these different things? So how did you feel, Tashara, about that with Dr. Fauci? Did you believe him that you should get vaccinated? What was your feelings about that? Because it really was dividing people and friends, relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a personal preference. You know, like with all vaccines, it's a personal preference. With a lot of medical decisions, it's a personal preference. I haven't had any like falling outs or disputes or anything with anyone, but I also, maybe it's me, I don't really ask. Like, I'm not like, you vaccinated? Like, I don't know. But I know for like me and my mother, however, like that's primarily who I talk to about my medical stuff. I'm still a mommy's girl. So, you know, my mom was like, I'm getting it. So I'm like, oh yeah, my mom's getting it, I'm gonna get it. So if she trusted, I trust her. So I'm gonna get it. So I'm a proud Pfizer princess. Like, it's just what it is. Double vaxxed boosted. But I don't hold it against other people, right? Like everybody's choice is their choice. I just hope that people are being safe and just taking precautions, no matter like what decision they've decided to make. You know?
I agree. What about you, Terrica?
It's situational. It's personal, like you said. It's your choice and what you want to put into your body or give, or you feel like you need it or not. Like I said, I'm not, even by me being in the healthcare field, I'm still not doing, are you vaccinated or you need to get vaccinated? That is what you think, what you want to do after listening to all the statistics, or even what type of medical conditions you have. Because some doctors are like, no, with your particular medical condition, I don't advise it. Right. So if you consult with your doctor about it and how you feel, me personally, like I said, it's whatever you want to do. Like, I'm fine with you, fine not. You were welcome in my house if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. I'm not checking. I'm not gonna ask. And then I guess too, by being in the medical field, I've had so many patients just sit down and will look you dead in your face. Are you vaccinated? That's my business. Like I'm not into the business of handing you my medical card. Are you going into a restaurant asking people are they HIV positive while cooking your food?
Good question. Good.
You know, like so that to me it's boundaries.
Yes.
It's boundaries.
Boundaries,
But
yes.
it's situations, whatever you feel. But I will tell anybody this: vaccinated or not, take care of your immune system. Take care of yourself from the
Absolutely.
inside out. I don't care what you inject
Yes.
or don't inject. Find out what works for your body, your need of health, and implement that in your diets.
Yes.
I'm a firm believer of taking care of yourself from the inside out.
I agree. I'm going to ask you this question, Sonnie, because I don't know if this has happened to you, because it's happened to me.
Okay.
Because my friends see me traveling all the time, my friends literally did not want me around them during that time. They were like, you can't come in my house, you travel too much. You know, even though they know I was vaccinated, boosted and everything, they were like, I don't trust you. You can't. A lot of my friends literally said, we've been watching you. You can't. So did you experience anybody treating you that way?
No, my friends is outside, honey. They don't So most of I have some friends that are not vaccinated. I have some friends that are vaccinated. You know, we outside. I'm outside. This shot mean I can go outside. Run that. It was for me. I want to be outside. I'm an outside girl. I like to go out. I like to go to dinner.
Yes.
I like to. If I don't care if I want to go roller skating, I want to go.
I want to go outside and play.
You know, yes, I like to. I'm not that sit in the house and flip channels and type of chick. Like that's cool, you know, for a day or two. But after that, I'm ready to.
You ready to go?
If
Right?
the sun is out, sun's out, buns out.
Okay, that's what I'm
And
talking
I
about.
love to travel. I'm a travel queen. The pandemic has slowed me down because I likes to go to the furthest places of the earth. So, but right now I've been on real chill. But I know people that have. So whatever, like they said, whatever works for you. If you want to, I have friends. They say, I have a baby. I gotta sit in the house. I gotta wear my mask everywhere. I'm not wearing that mask. I don't care. I did it for a year, and I did it while working, and you understand that. That's rough.
Basically, you just did the CDC rules when you had to.
That is a rough life to sit up and wear that mask 8 to 10 hours a day.
Yes.
I mean, your throat
I
is
felt like I
hurting.
was going to pass
Your
out.
mouth is dry.
I had way more asthma attacks.
Yes, you're sweating.
During the
Like
pandemic.
that was a rough year. I said I did it a year. That's all y'all get, and I'm done. If you, my clients they come in, you want to wear your mask. You can wear it. I'm not wearing mine. You want this? Your hair down here. This is what makes me comfortable, and actually, this is what's gonna make me give you the best hair of your life because I'm comfortable.
Yes.
So
yes.
I can't speak to wearing it all day, but I do still wear mine in grocery stores. And I found my immune system has been stronger since wearing it. I used to get sick like a lot. But now I'm like, well, I don't wear it in the store. Like, if I'm out socially, not. But in the store, yeah, because I've seen people still coughing into thin air, not covering their mouth, not just being nasty. And I'm like, I don't even want your cold germs. I don't want your food germs. I don't want your cooties. I'm still wearing it in the store, but I'm not like oh my gosh, I gotta have my mask on in the car. I gotta like X, Y, and Z. But I also look like, again, I don't have to wear my mask for work. I work at home. I have an office. So like, you know, for me, it's just like 20 minutes a day, every other day if I'm in a store versus like having to do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna wear mine on that plane though. I'm just gonna tell you. On that plane,
Girl,
I'm keeping my mask for the plane. You wanna know why?
Like,
how many times have you traveled somewhere pre-pandemic and by the time you got there you was sick as a dog? And that is one place, like they just lifted it, but that's the one place I will put my mask on. I said, no, I'm keeping this. On this plane, we're gonna keep that.
Because getting sick when you're traveling is worse than being sick at home. Like, it feels like
Yes,
it's level
and I sleep with my mouth open, so I sleep on the plane. So imagine all the germs that I'm sucking in while I'm asleep. So the mask actually makes me feel better because then y'all don't even know my mouth is open.
I did notice when I was on the plane, no one had a mask on. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what, maybe I was looking for my mask actually, because I tried to have all these fancy pretty ones like to match my outfit, and I couldn't find my mask. I was like, doggone it, just keep your head down like this the whole time, you know, because I forgot my mask. But it's funny, when they lifted it, it was almost as if I needed to keep mine You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
psychological, like, okay, you lifted it, so, but now I don't know if I can trust everybody. And I'm going to tell you something. I was going to talk about that with dating. Because this one guy was like, I don't know if I should be around you. Are you vaccinated, this and that? So my question to you, Sonnie, is before you get ready to do your thing, get your vitamin D on, okay? Do you say, before we smash, are you vaxxed?
Never. You know what? That's a hard thing because a lot of black men, they ain't going about that vaccine. They are not. So most of the men I meet are not vaccinated. So that's not even we're not even gonna talk about that. I don't care. That is your life. That is if you end up in the ER, that is on you. So I don't care about that. I might ask you when's the last time you got your blood ran before I ask you about vaccine. When was your last STD check? That's the conversation.
Yes.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people now are having difficulty with this dating thing, and a lot of them are feeling very kind of cautious about dating people that they don't know. We always had, like you said, some caution with it, but now we just added more to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're like, okay, I don't know about you, you know, because a lot of men, you know, I've had men say, you know, I got really sick, I got COVID, you know, and they get better and they're okay and all that stuff. So right now we're in some really strange times, but I do want to say this, Dr. Jadaldi, I'm taking your advice. He told me, he says, listen, daughter, this is not going away. Not so quickly as you think it is. He said, this is going to linger on for years and it's going to change strains. He said, so what I want you to do, like you said, Terrica, is to make sure that you take lots of vitamins, lots of high calcium, and see, because calcium helps protect from COVID. A lot of people don't know that. And also he talked about, he said, make sure that you just have a normal life, go out. He said, because he said, just like a baby, if you drop a pacifier on the ground and they pick and put it in their mouth, their immune system is learning how to fight. He said, but if you stay indoors and you never go out in contact with people, you are going to get sick. Mm-hmm. So that was the best advice he gave me, because I was out every day. Like you said, I was out every day, and I was just doing what I needed to do to protect myself, you know, because that's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
It's going to get you eventually.
You know?
A client, she just got COVID, and she's like, it's 2 years in, and she finally got it. Everybody's going to become in contact with it, and either you're going to get sick or you're not.
Yeah.
Like, eventually.
It's kind of like a strain of a flu.
Yeah.
That's
like the cold with some bop in it.
And they never did get a cure for the cold, and they never did get a cure for the flu.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to get a cure for this.
It's a virus.
It's a virus, and viruses don't get cured.
They don't.
You just have to learn how to protect yourself with it. You know. So I wanted to ask you now. We had talked about traveling, and so you said you travel a lot. I'm going to ask each one of you, what's on your bucket list? The place that you want to go that you have not been, Sonnie?
I still haven't been to Dubai, which is crazy.
I don't know a lot about Dubai lately.
I was supposed to go last year, but I went and laid on the table, so I wasn't able to go. They moved the trip up 30 days. I couldn't do nothing with that. But Dubai is one of the places I do want to go, and I haven't been to Africa yet either. I've always seen beautiful things like about Cairo, and that was what the plan was. The plan was to go to Dubai and then because we were going to be gone for 11, 12 days, and then take 2 or 3 of those days and go to Cairo and ride the hot air balloon over the pyramids. Like that is that's on my bucket list.
Okay. What about you, Terrica? Thank you.
I want to go to Bora Bora.
Okay.
I'm a water person. Put me near some water. I want to be with the water, blue, clear water. I want to see white sands. I want somebody to climb up the tree and get a coconut and bring it down so I can that's me. I know the ocean misses me. I know it does. Whatever ocean, it missed me. But yes, I'm a beach bum.
Oh, okay.
So anywhere beach and blue water, sign me up.
Okay, what about you, Kashara?
So I have a couple answers similar to Sonnie. I would love to go to Africa, primarily Nigeria.
Me too.
Because I did the 23andMe over the pandemic.
Okay.
So I figure out where I came from. And now I'm like, I want to go. I want to check it out. And it's funny, I was just researching flights to Cairo, but I know it's not safe to travel right now. I was looking at their government website. Yeah. It's like, hold off. But I'm really into like Egyptian history and like the pyramids and things like that. And then on another note with water, I would love to go to Fiji. Like I just have this vision of meditating at a waterfall that I can't shake. That's like a goal.
Yeah. Okay. what's a defining moment in your life that kind of like really shaped who you are?
You starting with me? Like, look at me.
Oh, if you don't want to go, I'll ask.
Yes, first.
Okay, Terrica,
Ooh, a
defining moment in your life that you
moment.
can really like hone in on and say, yeah, this really kind of changed things for me.
I would say when I moved to Texas by myself, I just up and moved. I packed my truck
That's what I call being very brave.
and just told my mama, see you later. Like, it was
That's
just, it was so crazy. I went on an interview.
Mm-hmm.
I just told my family that I was going out of town. And that's what I did. But I went on the interview and they called me back and asked me when can I come. And I told them in like 3 weeks. And I literally packed my truck up and I just told my family I will see y'all later. And nobody was like, well, where are you going? So I'm moving to Texas. So it was a defining moment to show that how strong
Yes.
that I can
That's
be.
very
I didn't have a place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a job.
Mm-hmm.
That was it, in a truck, in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just made me feel like I was more of a grown.
Yeah.
Because I was in my late 20s. I wasn't even 30 yet. But
Yeah.
it just gave me a stronger sense of independency and
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, you can do it. It was no family, just go. So that was a defining moment for me to show how tough I really, really am.
Okay. What about you, Sonnie?
Ooh, I'm sitting here thinking while she was talking. I don't think that I have one moment. I feel like I'm who I am is a compilation of everything that I've gone through.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's one thing that changed like the trajectory of my life more than any other thing. I told y'all earlier, I have a controlling spirit, so I'm very much I choose, and so for me it's just one of those things, like everything that it's all been just kind of making the right choice or going this way, and I feel like if you go that way you can always pivot. Like there is no one thing, like it's everything from hell. My son's dad got locked up the day he was born. One day I woke up and God came to me like a light and said, go to hair school. And I just went to hair school. Like it was just, so it's a lot of different things that make me. But I feel like I've always been this way. I'm just wiser, like wisdom, like you said earlier.
Yeah, wisdom. Okay, what about you?
Okay, so I'm going to steal Sonny's answer again. I need Sonny to talk before me. But no, so series of defining moments. One that I can think of, which is kind of different. I went to business school, so I have an MBA, right? And in business school, you're supposed to take the high-paying job when you leave. And I remember I was in San Francisco. I was leaving a huge Wells Fargo office. I was interviewing for like a corporate credit analyst thing. Yeah. And I knew in the interview that this was not for me. It was like 6 back-to-back interviews with just some of the most terrible people. Like you can pick up on energies and attitudes. Yeah. And corporate is already its own conversation. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is going to be my life. Like, I'm going to be well paid and miserable. And I just, I left feeling so defeated. And like, and part of me, but coming from where you come from, especially if you come from like an urban environment, middle class family, like, you are part of it is like, this is a blessing, right? Like people would trade places with you in a heartbeat. So you start to feel guilty about not wanting it. So I was standing outside with a couple of the other college kids, and I got a call from the first bank I ever worked for full time. And they were calling to offer me the job I wanted, which was in human resources. Yeah. I'm a people person. And I was like, do I take the job that I know I'm going to love, that is way lower paying, in Pittsburgh? Or do I take the sexy job in San Francisco that pays the worst, but I'm working 80 hours a week, I'm not going to have any life, I'm going to be miserable. And at that moment, I was like, I have to do what I love. I'm like, I will get the money later. I know the money is coming to me. But right now, I just can't envision a world where I'm sitting here doing something miserable for 12, 14 hours a day. And I was already feeling that in business school. Like, I enjoyed business, but I wish I would have picked a different concentration. I was accounting, finance, investment banking path. And I was hating school. But it was too late to change directions within school. Yeah. And I'm in an MBA program. At that point, you can't just be like, no.
Yeah.
I
mean, you could, but not with my bills. So that for me, like, started the path of me saying no to what didn't serve me. Because I was still early in my 20s at that point, still trying to figure out who I was. And even throughout with different jobs within this business, just the decision to start a business, like I've always leaned towards what's going to fulfill me, and the rest will work itself out.
That's beautiful.
That's good.
So you know what we're going to say about that? Say no to things that don't serve you. Okay? I like that. I like that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so last question coming in. I'm going to ask Terrica first. What advice would you give to somebody, young coming up to maneuver all the crazy stuff going on now with their career, with their life, their relationships? What advice could you give them?
First and foremost, stay true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do not go against or shy away from who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, be mindful of other people, but you have to live with you 24/7. So don't take away from you. Nothing. Your self-care, your love, your ambition. Like, what do you want to do? What direction? And just because somebody's telling you, oh, you should take this path, doesn't mean that is the path for you. And if you do take that path and you get halfway down that path and you see that this not for me, come on back. It's another road. It's another road to it. Like that. What's the old saying? It's more than one way to skin a cat. It is more than one way to get to Highway 75. It is more than one way to get somewhere.
Yes.
So just because you go that path and it does not work, it is okay.
Yeah.
Your failures and your downfalls make up who you are too, because you can't have those without being successful boss or on top.
Right.
All the people we see have, people say, oh, you got this overnight thing. Yeah, in your eyes. You don't know. They stayed up late 2-3 nights. They missed work or whatever it is. But stay true to yourself and stay consistent.
Yes, it's the mother of success.
That's the jewel.
Stay consistent, and I can take that even just from my health loss journey.
Yes.
It was just like I don't know, just something just went off. Even though we do this every day or do certain things, but it was like that when I lost weight. It was just like consistency.
Yes, it's the key to success.
It's the key to success for anything.
Yes.
Anything, like I said. So even if that path is not for you, you take that path. But if you don't quit, if you quit, that's how you know you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Period.
That's right.
So keep moving, keep going, keep doing you, and do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Positive, always seek positivity as well.
Yes.
Learn how to take constructive criticism, because you're not perfect.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay, this is crazy. Oh my God.
You're not perfect. You are going to make some mistakes, and that is okay too. I think too in this society, people have the idea of perfection. You have to be perfect. Yeah. There's no such thing
as perfection.
There's no such thing as perfection. Yes. You can strive all day to get to it, and that's great. That's, I guess, it's what you should do as well.
Yeah.
Always keep learning.
That's right.
Always keep learning. You're never too old to learn anything. Too old.
I always say that the world is your classroom.
Yes.
You're never gonna stop learning. If you're here, you got stuff to do. I don't care what age you are. You got stuff to do. I always say that. And no means next. Somebody tell you no, no means next. That's don't even think about it as final. It means next.
That's true.
But anyway, I wanted to ask you, Sonnie, your parents, can you remember anything that to this day stays relevant in your mind, advice or something that they said to you? Your mother or your father, anything that you take
I would say my
to
mother,
heart?
because she's a cautious person.
Uh-huh.
And she always says anything that glitters is not gold.
Oh, yeah, that's
you
true.
know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And my mother gave me a lot of jewels that she like you like, I'm a parent as well, and I be like, I just want to be a floating head in your life, so when you go through things,
yes,
I'll be sitting on your shoulder, and I'll be like, this, remember we talked about this, and you'll know what to do. So one thing that she always told me, everything that glitters is not gold. So it's you can just look at things through a lens that where you can see it, and you don't get caught up in the glamour of what's going on in the situation, and you end up in a situation where you're looking like, oh no, well this ain't what I thought it was. Like when I got she told me, you need to look at him for a little while.
I like that.
Yeah, you need to look at him for a little while, and you make your decision.
Parents got that wisdom behind them. They got that old wisdom. That's the
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that I would say that more than anything is just being able to look at things and don't move so fast. I'm an Aries, so I'm very impulsive. So I'll see something, I'm like, let's go, and I don't spend the time to think about it. And I most of the time it works out for me, but there are times that it doesn't. And if I would have just taken that extra moment to analyze it and see the whole picture, I could have saved myself most of the time money. Not even just my time, my money. So
yes, I agree with that. I remember I think it was my mother who said, the devil never come ugly. So always be aware, and something is like you said, everything that glitters not gold, the devil never come ugly. So you always got to be cautious of everything that's like got this perfect package, especially with men. And I can tell you quickly, growing up and being with my husband and doing that whole build your life corporate thing. I mean, he became, to this day, he's one of the VPs of Wells Fargo, right? My ex, right? But in that journey, he lost himself as far as how he saw us, and that's what's going on with modern women today, because sometimes men still feel that they are over you. We are a helpmate. We are supposed to be together enhancing each other, right? But somewhere along the line, sometimes they think, well, I'm still over you. I'm the 60 and you're the 40. And I think that's what's going on right now with modern women, because we realize, no, it's not like that. We're supposed to enhance each other. We have different roles, but they're both very important.
Right.
And that's where, and on that note, we're going to have to say goodbye, because we just can talk forever. But this has been so much fun. I really appreciate all three of you coming out today. Thank you so much. You really, you dropped some gems for everybody. And I love what you had to say. It's really special. And I hope that you'll come on again, the Queen's Court Conversation. I want you to tell everybody where they can get in touch with you, your Instagram, or all the information.
Mine is just at Kashira, every social media platform.
Okay.
You might need to spell Kashira.
It's in the description box for y'all watching, but in case it's not, Kyshira.
Okay. What about you, Terrica?
I'm Terrica. You can find me on Instagram as the Game Lady.
Okay.
And I'm Sonnie. You can find me on Instagram at Silked by Sonnie, SILKED. People miss it.
I believe you.
So that's it.
And thank you again. This is Queen Court's Conversation with Queen D. And you can find me on Lorraine Moi, which means the Queen in me in French. Okay? I really wanted to be an American, but when I went for my LLC, they said, no, someone else has something close and similar. So I said, well, God, why you give me something that I can't use? And he said, say it in French. That's a true testimony. And I said, okay, Lorraine Moi. So I Googled it. I said, how you say it in French? And I Googled it and said, Lorraine Moi. And I was like, okay, God. You know what you're talking about. You the genius. I'm following you.
Right,
okay.
right.
Yeah. So anyway, Lorraine Moi is my brand, and it means the queen in me. And every woman is a queen, even if they don't feel like they're a queen. We all come from different backgrounds, and we experience different things, but we're still queens. Okay. And you can find me on YouTube, Lorraine Moi or the Queen in Me. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Keep your comments nice. Thank you. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.